You guessed it, we are starting early. Tax day is April 18th, so I wanted to make sure that you had a running start for all success. So we are talking about 5 tips for tax prep and organization. Hello, I am Dr. Darnita L. Payden, and my purpose is to educate, encourage, and enlighten. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by my channel today. I am so grateful that you are here. Today, we are going to talk about 5 tips for tax prep and organization. And I have a very special guest joining me today. Her name is Sulena Long, and I'm going to give her a moment to tell you a little about herself, and her information will be in the description box if you'd like to reach out to her after this video. So Ms. Long, we are in your hands.
Well, hello, Dr. Payden. I am Sulena Long. It is absolutely a wonderful pleasure to be here. So I'm going to just share a little bit about myself. So ideally, I am a professional organizer. I help, I would say primarily seniors and their families really get their life together. So whether that is from them aging in place, wanting to stay within their home for as long as they desire, or whether it entails them downsizing. So I assist with that as well. So it's just a matter of helping them to get organized and live a simple, clutter-free life.
We love clutter-free here. We're always talking about it. Now, where are you located?
So I am located in the Baltimore area. However, we do cover Baltimore, parts of Washington, D.C., as well as Northern Virginia.
Okay, and do you work with seniors virtually as well, or is it all in person?
Most of the seniors, unless their families are really involved in the process, we really work with them hands-on. So where we're actually in the trenches, working with them physically in person.
Okay, well, wonderful. So if you're local to the DMV area and you want to reach out to her, again, her information will be in the description box. And so we're going to jump right in and talk about tax prep and organization. Now, of course, this isn't just for seniors, this is for everyone, because as we know, there are 2 things that they tell us are certain, and that is death and taxes. And we're not looking forward to either anytime soon, but we know that tax time is around the corner, and we wanted to just make sure that you could be prepared when that time came. So we're going to give you 5 tips in 5 areas and some things that you can do to make the tax preparation and organization a little less stress. But we want to take stress out of it completely. So we want you to have a stress-free tax prep and organization season. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to start to talk about gathering your receipts. So Ms. Long, what would you tell someone the first thing to do when they're trying to gather their receipts?
I would say definitely always creating habits of gathering your receipts is a beautiful thing. And when I say habits, whether that is gathering it every time, the simplest way, of course, simplification is the best way, right? The simplest way is to have, whether you choose, some people manually, some people digitally. So you take an envelope or you get an accordion file, and every single month you just put those receipts in there. That way, when it comes to tax time, you don't have to look for those items. They're already in place. If you more of a digital person, then of course go ahead and scan them to whatever system you may be using, whether that's QuickBooks, whether that it's NetSuite. There are a number of different services out there that you can use if you are very much so a digital person. But I always say keep it as simple. Do it as you go rather than waiting until the ending of the year and you're scrambling.
I like that. So we call that KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie.
Sweetie.
You want to keep it simple. And she mentioned something that I want to show you. She gave you 2 ways. You can go the old-fashioned and proven way of paper. But I would say if you have an issue with paper clutter, then you may want to go the digital route. But she did mention something that I want you to see here. This is an accordion folder. And this is what I actually use. I do both ways, but again, if you don't have an issue with paper, then this is just a simple folder, accordion folder. This one happens to have 31 different pockets that you can put things in. And I took it even a step further, and this is real life. I just numbered it 1 to 26 because I do mine alphabetical, but you can make up a system that works for you. And so, for example, A could be for all of your Amazon receipts, or B could be for all your Bath and Body Works receipts, or if you wanted to do those for expenses, E could be expenses, or B could be business if you were a business owner. And like she said, so what I do is as the receipts come in, I put them in the corresponding pocket for whatever the corresponding letter or section is for tax time. And then that way, at tax time, everything is right here. I don't have receipts in the drawer and on my desk or in my pocket or in my purse or taped to the wall. Everything is in one place. And she gave an excellent idea of making sure that you make it a habit. So as soon as those receipts come in, they go somewhere instead of just piling them up, and then you become overwhelmed at the end of the season, and you have to put all of that together. And what I do further is for each year, I then do a separate folder. Now, Ms. Long and I are both business owners, so we have a different time frame for how long we have to hold on to everything. So we have paper maybe longer than someone does who doesn't have a business. But again, at the end of the tax season, I can just pull that out. And if you're doing your own taxes or you have to give it to your accountant, you can just give them the entire thing or put everything neatly into a folder. She also talked about some online things that you can use. But if you're not that fancy or you don't want to pay for it, if you have a smartphone, most of them have some sort of scanning app. It works just as well. Take a picture. We want to make this as simple as possible. So we don't want you to feel overwhelmed that you have to go out and spend a lot of money, because we're always about trying to save you money and save you time, reduce your stress and your productivity. So the method that she talked about was excellent. So thank you for that, Ms. Long. What else could you tell them about gathering their receipts, especially if it's something that doesn't come as second nature to them? They're just starting. What would be a couple of things that you could let them know that they could do to be their most successful?
To be most successful. So I will say for myself, when I started this process, I started carrying around just a little plastic envelope, like they have them at the supply store, whether it's the dollar store or Staples. It's just a plastic envelope. It had a pocket at the back and then flap that you can open. And I will take that with me in my pocketbook. Okay. Or I had one on the slat of the car door. So every time I got a receipt, instead of just putting it inside of my pocketbook, I would actually put it in that plastic envelope, right? Because I was like, if I put it in my pocketbook, forget it. It probably would just get lost in the pile.
Of no return. That's why I was chuckling. And you ladies out there know that purse, that pocketbook, that book bag can be the point of no return. So,
exactly.
Well, it sounds like you're saying you have a miniature version, and I have one of those too. A pouch that you can keep things in, and then you can transfer them maybe at the end of your day. Would you suggest that they do it every day, or I
would suggest initially definitely doing it every day. Every day. Trying for it not to go more than 3 days, but if you can get into the habit of doing it every day, just taking out that cluster of receipts, putting it in the accordion file or scanning it, that's beautiful. Because we know anytime you leave anything to pile up, what happens, right?
It
becomes overwhelming, and you're like, oh my gosh, when do I start? When am I gonna have the time to start? Right. All of that. Exactly.
Then you can end up paying extra fees because, again, as she said, you're overwhelmed and you missed the tax deadline. It's a whole hokey pokey. So what we're saying is to alleviate all of that end of tax year stress, if you just implement small changes in your day, the one she just gave you, taking when you go to the store, a little pouch that you can put your receipts in, and then at the end of the day, clearing those out. Because if you've seen anything that I do, I don't believe in taking today into tomorrow, and I don't want yesterday to affect my today. So like she said, when you get home and you put your things away, make sure that you take all of your receipts out of that and put them in their permanent place so that you'll have them at the appropriate time when you need them. What else can you tell them?
So another thing I think would be really beneficial is taking a highlighter, highlighting the amount and the date on the receipt. That's also a great habit to get into because it holds you accountable as well in terms of your spending habits, right? You can probably now look and see, oh, you know what? In the first week of the month, because maybe my paycheck came in, I get a little overboard in spending the first week of the month, but then, you know, the second or third week, I tend to taper out, right? So you get an idea of some of your habits.
I love that. So in addition to being prepared at tax time, you're also getting some budgeting. That was a bonus. You're budgeting so you get to see what your habits are. Are you going to get that coffee multiple times a week? Are you spending a lot of money on, you know, those lunches out, or are you emotionally purchasing things because, you know, the difficult times that we're in right now? You're doing that retail therapy. So there you have the first tip in this series. We're talking about gathering your receipts in a place where you can find them. She suggested that if you don't want to use the accordion system that I showed you, that you could use some electronic system. Again, there are a lot that are free, but if you want to pay for one, that's fine as well. And she also talked about portable receipts, taking something with you when you're out shopping. And then when you get home at the end of the day, making sure that you release those receipts from that. And even if you're home, because a lot of us are still home, you can do this same thing with your electronic receipts. Some people still like to print those out. We just want you to build a habit and a system so that when tax time comes, and we know that it's coming, that you will have all of your receipts and you won't be overwhelmed and overrun. So Ms. Long, thank you so much for that information. I'm sure they may have lots of questions. So make sure that you leave your questions down for her to read, and we will do our best to answer those for you. So thank you so much for taking the time to stop by my channel today. Before you leave, please give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell notification so that you'll be aware when I post a new video. Also, tell at least 5 people that you know about my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And if no one has told you today how amazing and awesome you are, I want you to know that you are absolutely, positively awesome. Take care. God bless. Bye.